Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Equiculture Speaks. Equiculture's mission is to restore the connection between horses, humans, and Mother Earth. Tonight, we are joined by Paul Tohlakai, and Pam is here with us tonight, and she's going to take the lead, and I'm going to listen and hopefully say a few words when I can. So Pam, why don't you introduce us to Paul?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So Paul did send us a really beautiful long biography, which we'll have posted on our website. We'll make sure that's available to people. So Paul is an old friend of mine. He helped me survive the culture shock that I had. Then when I came back from the Amazon and I was trying to adjust here, and it was many years ago. He was my first real North American native friend. I had met a couple in South America, but didn't have a friendship with them. And it was my first time meeting a Dene or Navajo person. And he helped me. He helped me in ways. He helped undo the knots in my mind and help me find my way back to what I need to be doing. After that, then I began working with Harvey Arden. It was like magic. After I accepted that I had to be in service in the ways that I had committed, I was able to have a good life. And I would say all of that to Paul. He saved my life twice. Um, I want to, I have no problem sharing that at that time I was really mentally ill, like seriously. I was hospitalized many times. Um, I was probably scary to Paul. I don't know. I mean, I had to be. I mean, I had a very wild spirit, like kind of overseeing, and to come back from that in such a holistic way, and the ways that I have is really a miracle. And it's thanks to Paul's teachings. It's thanks to Paul's friendship and his concern for me. And we've, touched base over the years, but mostly we haven't been in each other's lives. So this is an amazing opportunity for me. It feels like a full circle time. And mainly because the connection we have now has to do with the horses. So I'm eager to learn from Paul. I can't wait for him to come and share his good medicine for the humans and helping them get right with their own selves so that they can be good with the horses. And so anyway, Paul, I appreciate you. I'm sure we'll get into where you come from and your people and all the things that you want to share, and the work that you're doing today, because that's really important. And your work you've been doing in Europe, just talk to us. Tell us how you've been in these last couple decades. I know you have a good life over in Europe. I know you're over there a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's been a journey. I mean, many years ago, likewise, 36 years ago, my life took a different path and relented myself to the path of the spirit. And in essence, I've been following my spirit around all over the world. And it takes me places. And sometime I came into the Native American spiritual path, and I've been on that journey ever since. And it has taken me many places, met many people, and it's been an experience, learning, and people think I'm wise. I'm a wise guy, but I think I tell them, it comes with age, really. Wisdom, all it is about is having some knowledge, and having knowledge is having understanding. And the only way to do that is to have that experience is to go and do things. and had some wise teachers, my elders, and most of them are gone now, from the Lakota, Dene, and other nations. And so happens everywhere I went, I met the oldest indigenous people from the area, and they shared with me, and not just elders, but I learned from a lot from people and children and other life forms and nature. When all said and done, I always refer back to spend time in nature, and resets my button and keeps me in a humble way. And these days, I'm slowing down. I can't hop on a horse anymore, and it but they've been my mainstay everywhere I went, and whether it's Australia, Europe, Japan, or other places, there's always a horse. So yeah, and people, having met many people, and an exchange, and I listen a lot, and there's some very beautiful people out there in the world. And one of the things I did was to bring native cultural programs to Europe, where I coordinated powwows for some years, and then brought people over there from here in Canada, and I been to the UN, addressed to World Intellectual Property Organization that sponsored me to be an observer. But I was a little surprised that the world is much of the world is appropriating indigenous knowledge, accumulated knowledge, and uh, finding ways like medicine to patent them. And that didn't sit well with a lot of us native people that went there. And but what it is appropriation and commercialization of accumulated indigenous knowledge and other things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like rampant over there, elsewhere in the world. It's
Western culture.
It's good. Some are sincere in what they're doing, what they believe, and but for the most part, I shied away from those kind of activities. Then spent time with horses out in the world, and which was better. And always taking time to learn about other indigenous nation, like in Australia, the Aborigines, and making contact, and always networking for the greater good as an activist, and among other things that I do. But I've reached that age now, where I'm kind of slowed down, as I said, and also trying to have a life in a way that's keeps me on my toes and keeps me doing things. And we live off grid. We're surrounded by mountains and snow country, and up by towards the Grand Canyon. But I think to say that there's a lot of need out in the world, and it's come down to backtracking to where it all began, like here on Turtle Island. There were laws that were put on this Mother Earth to abide by, but since the invasion, it's been helter skelter like these days with technology. It's a scary situation, where we could be what was that, 1984, the novel.
Yeah.
It's a reality now.
Yeah.
And people forgot how to be human,
Mm.
even looking for spirituality. They get in over their head. And as I say, we come into this world to inhabit a human body as a spirit. We enter the human, and it's our task for our spirit to learn to be human, our human self to find our spirit again. And as we say, there's no ending, no beginning. Everything's a constant cycle, just like the weather, just like anything in the universe. And we have that option, obligation also to raise each other's conscience,
Yeah.
to live a better way and promote peace in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, do you feel afraid? Like, are you feeling overwhelmed by all that negative, you know, that whole field of negativity that controls so much?
Well,
I mean, do
fear
you,
is something that has to be, as I believe, it has to be dealt with
yeah,
in a way that's because fear
yeah,
produces a lot of negativity, anywhere from envy, jealousy, greed,
mhm, yeah,
and on down the line. And it's like our heritage animals here in North America are being decimated every year by our own government,
mm-hmm,
including the horses and
mm-hmm,
the bears, the eagles. Fear
yeah,
makes them do that. They're afraid, to make a relationship and live in peace with the environment and inhabitants thereof.
yeah, and
And
each other,
when they fear something, they want to kill it, subdue it, and submit it to themselves. And that's the problem with invasiveness. It's on all levels, whether it's animals. You have python overtaking Florida, and you have domestic herds that are ruining the environment for the
yeah,
indigenous animals and the land, and the corporations are over harvesting our natural resource. And then it gets political, and it gets political size. And that's where we are.
and there's all the, I always look at the grassroots groups, even like ourselves here, that those of us who have turned away from that Western culture madness, and tried to break out of that whole field of energy like that. And a lot of us that have turned to the land are helping the land. And I think that there's a lot more of us than we all know. And I think your work helps connect the like-minded people. I'm really interested in how the horse can help, because I know the horse can help us through to restore our minds and help us activate the part of ourselves that connects to the world, nature. Um,
Mm,
they have a lot of power over us in a lot of ways, and I'd like to hear like what your thoughts are about how the horse might help, because I have this herd of horses that in their where they originally came from, they couldn't stay. They had no home really, and they were too much or whatever. They lost their homes, or they were disabled or something. So they're all here and they live together, and I've designed for them according to the things I've learned from native culture about how they think and how they roam. And but like I know like what powerful teachers they are. They've changed a lot of people's lives just with their personalities and we're really respectful of them. So they really cooperate on both sides of their brain. So they have big personalities. And anyway, I know they really love this work. I know that they love meeting people. I know that they love inspiring people. They're very affectionate and conscious like that. So how do you go about introducing the people to the horses and helping them understand them better?
Well, I think it's the mindset. There are two modes of thinking. As we talk, there is the Western or
Hmm.
European Western mindedness, and some go so far to say it's industrial mindedness.
Yeah,
And
institutionalized.
today, with high technology, even more so.
Hmm.
And on the other side, there's the indigenous mind that works a different way. We think differently and accept a lot of conditions and as is and accept it. And I just shared with people the difference in the two minds. And I grew up being told that there is inanimate objects, and that's nothing. That has nothing to do with living. It
Hmm.
surprised me, and I thought that all my life, living in a non-native world.
Yeah.
For us, we pray with the stone people. We pray with wildlife and the trees and the earth and the water and the fire. No, they're not inanimate. People who think that way or have died inside, I believe,
Yeah.
and it could
Oh,
affect a whole culture, community,
yeah.
nations,
Yeah.
and to the point that nothing's sacred anymore.
No. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with horses, it's kind of like the same way. I work mostly. I just been asked to be on the board of directors for saving wild horse mustangs. And as of today, I accepted that position, but something needs to be done.
Yeah.
And the mustangs, they're like the they're like the wild Indian, I guess. They don't say, they don't talk too much. They don't think too much.
Mm.
They know realities. They're interdimensional, and they have an effect on our lives just by their sheer presence. Sometime I go out and look for wild horses just to be around them.
Hmm.
They lift my spirit.
Hmm.
And then working with horses is quite different than the domesticated uh, life uh, animals.
Hmm.
But sometimes, there are exceptions. Like I went to herd sheep for my brother, and they outsmart me every time. And but it's it's life, and we are in that place now that we can create, plant the seed of consciousness in each other and others to bring back that awareness and concern that things can't be like this forever.
No.
It's to our detriment. Sooner or later, more
Yeah.
things will happen, and that's why we talk about uh, a new time, a new age.
Hmm.
Purification will come, and there will be changes and new cycles, and sometimes it just has to be that way.
Yeah.
We'll reset and start over again. You know, the Earth will survive. Everything will survive as meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, those that cause that, have to make way again. And I think it's a beautiful life here. If only we can communicate in a better way
Yeah.
and do good works like you're doing and
Yeah.
others are doing. And it doesn't matter color of your skin or your where you come from. The
Yeah.
point being, we're here on this beautiful land, this paradise, and we have to help our Mother Earth,
Yeah.
by changing ourselves and decolonizing our minds
Yeah.
to think naturally again, to act naturally, and and go into the future with some sacrifices. We're all become victim of convenience, I
Yeah.
believe, and we contribute to the demise of our world. All life there
Mm-hmm.
by overusing. We're the ultimate consumer,
Mm-hmm.
and we have that. We can correct that, and that's why I enjoy being out here without infrastructure, no electricity, no running water, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But I got, I had good training by growing up on the reservations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I get it. It's also, yeah, it's so good for you, and to not be, because the energy of this culture is very intense, and it's bombarding, especially with the technology. So I yeah, I think that we have a real concern, in my own heart, and my friends, those of us that do this, is, that there's really no time but now to turn ourselves around, do the work on ourselves. And that's where the horses have been the biggest gift to me. Like I'm always shown the layers of resistance I have with them, and just taking care of them day to day has also, taught me so much about being committed to nature and the world and my garden and growing food and being part of the community. It's really, if the gift is mine, as much as it's been 100% service and sharing and taking care. I've probably cared for close to 500 horses, at least a couple hundred that I've lived with, and found homes for or helped. And I'm super, super proud. And I want everyone to have a little, just coming and even being with them or being around them and letting them, open you up in ways that they do in their own incredible magical kind of power that they have on us. um, I would like, if, in your workshop that you're going to be doing, I would really like I love the idea of helping the humans. I mean, I love that. I think anybody that I know that's working with horses wants to understand them more. And we've learned quite a lot from Chief Philip, the Cheyenne elder who has horse medicine. We learned a lot about how the horses think and move, and, but it was really like scratching the surface, and maybe we're ready to understand them a little more. I know that you can help us with that. I know you have an incredible, insightful, sensitive way of, like you said, with your native mind, you see that you don't have them in a context of any kind. It's, you see them. And for us, European culture people who obviously have 1,000 years of burning behind us, we're complicated and in trouble, traumatized, and there's very little things that can touch us now. You know, it's like you said, it's like Walking Dead. But the horses, like these horses that I have, if I take them out on the wagon, just their presence, you know, lifts people up for a moment. And I've seen that it can really, really change lives in the way that they record it and remember it. And it just reminds me, you know, their connection, the horse's connection to us and our connection to nature, it was really disrupted and, you know, kind of thrown away and demeaned a lot in when the motorized vehicles came. And so nobody even wants to look at the culture of animal power that's so special and also has an old traditional knowledge, you know, that horse people everywhere, they would drive. I was going to say, when you said you can't ride, I'm like, well, there's always driving. I know I'm going to be driving till I can't drive anymore. I hope I'm 100 when that happens. But, you know, they're so special to work with them in that way with just the lines, and especially the big guys. And, you know, there's just such a world of information and knowledge and opportunity to reflect on yourself and improve, you know, your skills at your I mean, they feed your spirit in a way that makes you more noble, makes you pick up more of who you really are as a human. And you're right, it opens that compassion. I mean, others see them, they objectify them like they do the whole world, and they just see them as property, or they just see them as that value of this or whatever. And that's really, to me, sad. Unfortunately, they run a lot of the horse industry, you know, people that really, but then again, I see all the love in all the industries too, and the traditional history. And I really want to understand the Dene culture and understand how the Dene saw the horses. I would like to hear more about your grandfather's horses or your great grandfather's horses, the war charging horses. You
Yeah.
know, I would like to understand that. I would like to hear about them, because I think that, you know, your horses are a reflection of who you are as a people. And remember, we talked about this, and you made a really incredible comment when I said, you know, the horse is a reflection of the people and culture that they came from. So obviously, the shires are huge because King Henry VIII wanted huge war horses, and um, you know, and you said, yeah, and we've bred so much of who we think we are into them that now we've made it impossible for them to even survive normally, like those Mustangs do. You know, every horse has that in them to adapt in that way, but not all of them can do it anymore because physiologically they're not able, you know, they have problems. My shires have vascular problems. So yeah, talk to me about that, like our reflection on them and how you see them
Um, I mean, we're
as
talking about
partners in helping. I'm just saying,
we're
sorry.
probably talking about varying degree of the mind.
Mm,
Sometimes I think they're more evolved than we are,
hmm. Yeah.
uh, in their natural environment, and we human make the mistake of thinking there's a hierarchy in the circle of life, that we're top of the food chain, but could be that we can learn. Certainly, they have healing properties all the time. You know, they're healing humans if given the chance, and they're devoted to the caretaker. But
Mm,
we insist on being. We want to own things,
yeah.
and I tell people, you know, what kind of relationship do you have with horses? It's always my horse,
Yeah.
my horse, my
Yeah.
horse. I said, actually, you made a commitment to this horse the day you met him and decided to own him. Then you made a commitment to take care of this being for the rest of its life. and you can't change that. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
People buy horses, trade them,
Yeah.
then get another one, and
I
they're
know.
actually traumatized by
I know.
changing humans all the time, and it should be for life. And when I started traveling, I heard a lot of commotion about horse whisperer, and that phenomenon caught on all over the world. And people get, are you a horse whisperer? And I said, nope. I listen to the horse. I listen to them. There is no such thing. If there is, I've seen evidence, or I experience things with the horse, like within the ceremonial context and ceremonies, horses actually dance at the sundance to get into a certain uh, gait,
Yep, I've
and
seen it.
they tune into the drum. The same
Mm-hmm.
thing with buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Up in South Dakota, I've seen buffaloes surround the sundance. I've gone to Australia and around the circle at night. Kangaroos came up and joined us, listening to the drums.
Wow.
So it's that heartbeat, it's that calmness in all life. And for me, I use that sound and apply it to all the senses of the horse to interact and relate with them. And the horse, my late horse, died at 28 years old. And he taught me the relationship between the four gaits of a horse and the four drum beats that we use, like in Sundance. He could change gait by the tempo, by the rhythm that I changed, and that was amazing. That's I don't know if that's a first, but certainly it is mystifying, and so I believe there is a place where a human and the horse can communicate on a in a different dimension, on a different level, and it calls for the spirit, the relationship made with the spirit. And my horse used to always know. My late mother told me that I always know when you're going to come home because your horse comes around. The rest of
Oh.
the time he's out there.
Oh my
And
God.
and one day I came on call ahead and said, "Get the lodge ready." So did sweat lodge and at night, and sometime third round the doorman tapped and said, "Your horse is out there."
Oh my
I thought,
God.
I wonder where he went to because he didn't show up. And he came to the sweat lodge. So I went out and fanned him off with the eagle fan and smudged him off, and then off he went again. And then when he died, he just wandered off. He grew up with this other horse, and the other horse died one day, and he stayed around his friend. And then a couple of days, 2 or 3 days later, he wandered off and just lay down and died.
Yeah.
So it's that intimate relationship.
Yeah.
The horse can teach us things like that, how to
Yeah.
be human. Never mind so much the spirit.
Yeah.
It's just we're on earth as human beings and we need to behave like one.
Yeah.
And we can find the spirit that way by being human.
Yeah.
And the horse certainly find themselves that way. And I think that's saying a lot. If given the chance, they do help the humans
Yeah.
beyond, uh, pulling wagons or
Yeah.
logs
Anything.
or
Yeah.
workhorses.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
yeah,
God.
and certainly,
That's what we try to share is that they're not just working partners, they're beings, that
mhm.
they take a big commitment, but what they give you back, is incredible. Yeah. Um, well, we should talk a minute about World Peace and Prayer Day because we haven't mentioned that, and you will be hosting the World Peace and Prayer Day that we have here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
just
you're going
have
to be
to
hosting. It's really
put
exciting
the
to me.
phone closer to my ear so I can hear you.
So, we're going to have, the World Peace and Prayer Day, June 21st, and we'll invite the community, the native elders in this area, and also we'll invite community leaders, and we'll have a really special day, and we'll include the horses, which will be really, really beautiful. I think that that's going to be a really special event, Paul. The first one we did together, you and I, was actually in 97. You're right about that. It was 97, and we did this really big event, remember? So we
Mhm.
had the Neville brothers helping us because they helped Orville, and we had all these musicians and all different kinds of native people came, and we really, really left a good feeling and impression, and a lot of people carried on celebrating that day. I've celebrated it every single year, sometimes just with one other person, but I've always lit a fire. And then to have this new land, this new farm, find out that it's aligned with the sacred mountains out where you are, and also have this opportunity to do something good in the community is then have you come and open the ceremony is like a full circle for me. It's all new beginnings, really. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think a lot of people are in that place where we have to remake ourselves or renew ourselves or somehow reorganize ourselves in order to survive in a noble, good way. And I think it's going to make a big impact and bring a lot of good people. And so we can all see each other and have a prayer for peace one day. And it'll be amazing having you here. Um, we're still deciding on the days, right? So we don't know if it's before that weekend before World Peace and Prayer Day or if it's the weekend after World Peace and Prayer Day, but we'll let people know that will be a workshop Saturday and Sunday with you, working with the horses in a round pen and talking about them with people that might be having problems with their horses or, that kind of thing, right?
Uh,
And yeah, I think it'll
well,
be a really wonderful opportunity to grow and learn. And yeah, we'll put out a lot more about that soon so you can share it.
again, Native people, indigenous people have their own way of doing things. And it's always the circle and the fire and the water and the elements that we're composed of. So water and fire, the air, and the plants, they should be represented and be there.
Yeah.
And also the everything comes in fours, the four seasons and the four generations and the four ages that could be involved actively from the children, young men, young women, parents like, and elders, and sort of like a living, alive medicine wheel. Uh, we could talk more about that, and it's one of the things I teach because the Native American community is structured in such a way that everybody has a a place, and they have a voice in all things. And that's what, what's going on in Washington right now. It's not like that. That's
Yeah.
how it gets to be if things are not done on equal level.
Yeah.
Respect, honor, relationship, and all these good things can be promoted, all directed in the end towards peace, living in peace with one another, and certainly our four-legged brothers, sisters, and the winged ones, and so on. There could be advocated activities surrounding these things. So off the bat, we bless everybody, including the horse. We can do that at the beginning. It makes more sense to do that than like an afterthought after it's over. They'll be involved from beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be beautiful. That would be beautiful. The horses would really love that. All these
Mhm.
horses that are here, I have about 7 of them. They did do World Peace and Prayer Day with Orville in Wappingers Falls.
Mhm.
They stayed in the middle. We put a little electric fence, round electric fence, and so they were all there. They were all part of the ceremony. That was when they were way younger, but yeah, it'll be beautiful. They'll love that. We
Yeah,
actually could do it if, out in the field, and then just let them come. They'll just come and be with us as they want, you know. Except, but we can hold them all there too. But they're all good. They love this kind of thing. So, I know you're working hard out there. I know you're in the middle of trying to get things like water to friends, right? It's for who's the generator for? What are you doing with that?
what's that?
I know you're working hard out there trying to, you were working with your generator, you were getting water set up somewhere for people?
Uh, we have a trailer that we haul water in a 350-gallon tank.
Ah, yep.
Yeah, we use that. We have a hand pump in there.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Well, Paul, thank you for talking. Heidi, you want to ask some questions?
Uh,
Ah,
It's
I
so deep.
am I am just um
No, it's really beautiful.
I cannot wait to meet you. That's basically all I can say. I can't wait to meet you, Paul. I'm so looking forward to it when you come to the farm and teach everyone that, will be there. Um, and I think you've said a lot about what you teach and just everything. So I am humbly grateful. I am so grateful
Yeah.
uh, and
Yeah.
honored that you are coming to Pam's farm, and I will be there. And I'm so pleased with that.
Yep.
well, well, thank
Me
you.
too. Yeah,
And you don't
Paul.
have to throw rose petals, okay?
Yeah, okay, we'll try not.
Fry bread will do.
Fry bread. Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend that heard about this and that you're coming, and she's going to be asking you like, what do you want to have for food, because she's going to whip it out. She's like cooks for big crowds, and she's an amazing gourmet chef, and she's ready to really hook it up food wise. So we'll have
Sure.
some good meals. She'll be reaching out to you, Paul, to hear what you want to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it'll be
the important
beautiful.
thing is always make an offering for everything we use
Of course. Yeah.
food-wise. And
Yeah. Of
yeah,
course. Yeah. Yeah. I'm I'm excited. We'll all stay tuned, and maybe we'll talk to you again before the event. And I hope that you can share this with your friends too, so they know, like I said, I'll make something for you to share too about, to your friends if they have any up here. But everybody's welcome. Day of peace, prayer for peace, and a weekend with you and learning how to hold peace in and be peaceful. Yeah. How the horses can help us do that. Yeah. How the horses can help us find peace. It's a big, 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 beautiful, beautiful mystery. And I'm so grateful to know one time, to be even around them. So yeah, thank you for helping us see and hear better.
And thank you.
It's getting sundown here.
Yep.
And today I was trying to siphon the gas out of the generator tank.
Oh,
no. And I swallowed some.
Oh no.
I'm afraid I'm running low on fuel here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better go. Okay.
Yeah. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to speak with us, and we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, and we're really looking forward to this event. We're going to make it beautiful for you, with a lot of love and respect. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And we'll close here, and thank you for listening to Equiculture Speaks. We got a lot more planned for everybody and a lot more people, very similar to Paul, for you to hear from. So I hope you stay tuned. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Paul.